Hoppers is here from Pixar.
Look at that poster.
And I mean, look, to me, Pixar has not had a great run. The last Pixar movie I really loved, and not just loved, I got emotional at the end of the film. The music is amazing. I think it's their last great movie was Coco.
Yeah.
I really believe that. Just beautiful film about, family legacy, about music. Just beautiful. In fact, watching Hoppers makes me want to see Coco again. Back to Pixar's greatness. If you haven't seen the trailer, the story is real simple. You want me to go over it, Alan? Yeah, let's go over it with the cast. There's a character named Mabel who loves her grandmother, who loves nature, and she is an activist. Little Mabel, as a kid, is an activist. She wants to protect the animals and the environment.
By the way, can I stop you for a second?
Please.
So Mabel and her grandmother, Mabel's a kid. They have a great relationship. Guess what I told Tyler, or our friend Tyler, who saw the movie with us?
Yeah.
Grandma's going to die at any moment now.
Yeah. As soon as you see grandma going to be dead. So, but Mabel, she's inspired by her grandmother, who encourages her activism. She's a plucky young girl. Although you pointed out to me, Alan, that originally, please tell me what you told me.
Yeah, it was 100% confirmed, but there was gay coding in this movie. Like she was not only an activist, but most likely she was queer.
So there you are. Mabel is in a constant fight with the mayor of the town, Mayor Jerry. Played by John Hamm. And Mayor Jerry wants to build a freeway extension that's going to destroy this beautiful sanctuary for animals and nature. Somehow Mabel happens upon professors at her school that are developing a technology. She notices a very unusual beaver. A strange beaver enters the picture. Well, it's not a beaver. It's an avatar. And they even in the movie they mentioned, you mean like Avatar? They actually, because it is conceptually like Avatar, a human puts their brain into an avatar of an animal that then goes off to and can actually speak and converse with other animals once in that form. Well, Mabel uses this to infiltrate the animals and basically inspire an uprising against the evil humans and Mayor Jerry to save the sanctuary. I mean, look, so that's the basics of it. It goes off into ridiculous extremes in the third act. The first half of the film, I thought the character Mabel was insufferable. The mayor reminded me of Gavin Newsom, governor of California. If you ask me, very phony.
You remember what I told you? The big difference between Mayor Jerry and Gavin Newsom was
what?
Mayor Jerry actually built a freeway.
Yeah. Actually built something. Yeah. Mayor Jerry was in the midst of finishing it.
Yeah.
Well, this leads to an animal uprising. Some other animals then are kind of take over with more nefarious plans that Mabel might not be down with. So how the turntables turn in the third act. I got to say, the first half of the movie, I was not with it. I thought Mabel was kind of insufferable. The second half kind of won me over because it went in ways I didn't expect. This was not, peak Pixar like Coco, which we spoke about earlier. I think this is weak Pixar. Barely, it passes as a bare recommend to me. In fact, if you're someone that needs to see every Pixar movie, this is one you can skip. So a bare recommend only because it does get better in the second half, which I there were some twists I thought, oh, didn't see that coming. That's kind of weird. I don't want to ruin it. And there's good voice acting from people like Bobby Moynihan, Dave Franco, and Dimitri Martin. Meryl Streep is even in the movie.
Yeah, a lot of
as the
Saturday Night Live.
insect queen.
Yeah, a lot of old Saturday Night Live cast members.
Yeah. But Alan, I think no one cares about what I think. You're the Disney Pixar fan.
Yeah.
You're the historian. What do you think about Hoppers?
Well, I mean, we mentioned it up front, but how far Pixar has fallen. Pixar used to be the gold standard when it came to not only CG animation, but storytelling.
Yeah.
And as you say, Coco, even though his name was removed from it, Coco was essentially John Lasseter's last movie with Disney. It came out months after his firing, which means he had been working on it. He had been overseeing it for years up until that point. This is I mean, not even close to any of the Lasseter Pixar's. Even Cars 2 and The Good Dinosaur. This doesn't even match itself up to. The other thing is Hoppers is not a family movie, it's a kids movie. Meaning if you're an adult and your kid wants to see this movie, that's a great chance for you to take your kid to the movie. And if you accidentally fall asleep, you're okay. It's like the time my daughter made me take her to see the Emoji Movie. Just knowing full well, I'm doing this for my kid. I'm not doing this for me. Look, Pixar has fallen. Illumination has risen. Illumination now is the gold standard when it comes to kids' movies. I can't believe I actually do like watching Minion movies. I resist it, but I go there and I actually wind up having a decent time. And look, this is why. This is what's happening at Pixar that needs to change, and you better see major changes occurring with the new Toy Story movie. But Pixar used to take a story and basically, we've seen behind the scenes video of this, documentaries about this, but there'd be a room and the room is full of storyboards and people would go in and pitch ideas. They would be telling jokes. Oh, here's a great joke here. Here's a great joke. But they would take the joke and then sit on it and let it marinate to really discover, is this the best joke we could tell, or could we take it even deeper? This movie just felt like it was slapped together. Oh, hey, here's a great idea. Here's a great idea. Here's a joke. Here's another joke. And they just ran out of time, needed to string together some kind of a script. And here it is. They just don't pay attention to the story anymore. I don't think people there know how to tell deep stories like Pixar used to tell anymore. This is just a very surface level movie. The other thing is the animation. The animation is so subpar compared to what Pixar used to be. In the beginning of the movie, we talked about it. It's Mabel and her grandmother. They're at this pond, this beaver pond. The pond only exists because the beavers built a dam on it. And this is her quiet space because Mabel has rage issues. But this going to the pond lets her relax, let her be in tune with nature and the here and now. When you watch that scene, I want you to take a look at the background, because if I didn't know better, I'd say that background is essentially a matte painting, a backdrop. You have all this 3D CG technology. You should be able to see a forest and feel the depth of it. And it just felt like it was two-dimensional. It ended at where the backdrop would have been had this been a live action movie. People have been afraid that Disney was just going to turn Pixar into just another brand. And this movie proves that it's heading in that direction. That Pixar doesn't mean anything other than, hey, here's another brand in which we can make animated features. And it's just sad.
There's almost no distinction between Disney animation and Pixar now. Pixar used to be the sign of quality. And I'll say this, Coco, I
Mhm.
got emotional at the end of the film. What that movie deals with family, death, legacy,
Mhm.
etc. Uh, this movie I felt almost nothing.
Yeah.
While the second half was like, oh, some funny ideas paying off here. It went in directions I didn't expect. At the end of the day, I really wasn't moved by Hoppers at all.
Yeah.
So, and that's what ultimately you want a movie to do. Not
Well,
only
no, that's
entertain.
ultimately what you want a Pixar movie to do.
Yeah, but Pixar movies, I mean, God, from Wall-E, think of what you
Mhm.
felt when you saw Wall-E.
Or how about the opening moment of Up? It's
Yeah,
like handling the death of a grandparent. Up, you just can't beat that.
yeah, like just the yes, the emotional weight that used to be like, and there would be some Pixar movies that like, I don't feel, and then the end they kind
Mhm.
of get you, and you'd be like, oh my god, they really got me. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm not feeling that from anything recent Pixar, and
Yeah.
this is it's weak. Uh, like I said, you said it. It's a kids movie. This
Yeah.
is a kids movie. So
Yeah.
bear
I should
recommend.
say I can give it a bare recommendation, and it's a kids movie. Meaning you as the adult,
Yes.
you're gonna get nothing out of this movie, but your kids are probably gonna have a fun time with it.